once you get by the exterior of Bob Gibson, you find a very warm, caring, and big-hearted person who had a great sense of humor, who enjoyed life, especially the latter part of it. He deemed himself a wine connoisseur at the end. It was great for me having the opportunity once I made the Hall of Fame to be able to spend more quality time with Bob because, growing up in Southern California and thinking about the legend of Koufax, Gibson, Drysdale, all the greats. I always looked at Bob as one of those people um, that you'd never be able to see, and wouldn't be able to touch. But here I was having actually becoming a friend and having a chance to spend some time with a person that I admired from a distance for most of my youth.
What was if you remember, just your first meeting with him and what was it like and what stood out to you most about him?
It wasn't about intimidation for me, because it was as if we had known each other all along. And I think it was a mutual respect that we had for each other in that the way that we went about the game. And I think that's something to be said about how special Cardinal baseball is. And all of the guys, starting with Stan Musial to Lou to Red to Bob, I think there was a great appreciation for the birds on the bat and the way that we went about our craft.
For Bob Gibson too, I mean, the era that he played in was very tough for Black athletes, and he was definitely a champion of that on the field and off it as well. What do you think about that and how much he changed the game in so many ways from a baseball perspective, but also outside of that?
We can't say enough about um, the way that they paved the way for guys like myself to have the opportunity to play. And you look at the contrast between he and Lou. Lou was that guy that was always always had a smile on his face. I think Bob used all of the other the hardships and things that he had to deal with from a social standpoint to his advantage when he got on the mound. I think it was all those type of things that drove him to be the great player that he was. I mean, he was very talented to start with, but that was part of what drove him as well.
Is there a special memory that you always will hold close to you about Bob?
Well, his sense of humor, always. He'd always tell people that when he and I are trading jabs and stuff, he said, "You know what? It would be a shame for us to read in the newspaper about an old man beating you up, or that if I played shortstop, he said people wouldn't even know who you are." So we had a great time together, and he was a lot of fun to be with. A great sense of humor, and Cardinals lost a giant, and you never know, Brooke, exactly how it's going to hit you. But this was really a gut punch, because I had gotten to know Bob on a very personal level, and I got a chance to I tried to talk to him at least once a week for the last 6 or 7 months, and it was a pleasure for me and an honor to have had the opportunity to call him my friend.